Swing over to discord.gg/MJ Today to check out the latest thing we're doing here at MJ Today Media. Discord is like Slack if you're familiar with Slack, and if you're not, it's basically a big chat room that also supports audio and video streaming. We have some cool events planned for our Discord channel, including small fireside chats with hosts and regulars from our other weekly shows, so you should pop over and join in. You can also meet and network with other fans of the show and check out all the non-cannabis links that I stumble upon in my daily travels throughout the interwebs. One more time, that's discord.gg/MJ Today. This episode of Marijuana Today Daily is brought to you by our friends over at All Kind of Portland, Maine, which provides medical patients and soon adult use customers with a wide selection of fine marijuana strains, handcrafted edibles, and all sorts of tinctures, rosins, dabs, honeys, and more. Check them out over at allkind.buzz. That's allkind.buzz. Good morning, Marijuana Nation. It's Friday, December 4th, 2020, and you're tuned in to episode 1003 of Marijuana Today Daily. I'm your host, Shay Gunther, and I'll be walking you through today's marijuana news and headlines. As always, we have a full and busy day of cannabis news in our hands, so let's jump right into it. We return to the big story on the week in Washington, D.C., with debates being held yesterday in Congress over the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act, or the MORE Act, which is set to go before the full House for a vote today. Kyle Yeager put together a good story here with video of some of the floor debate held over the MORE Act, which would remove cannabis as a scheduled drug while also setting up a number of social equity programs. Since the House is voting on this issue today, we'll be back with an update next here on Tuesday's show. In the meantime, while we await the results of that vote today, take some time and check out Kyle's piece to get fully up to speed on all the things. We swing out to New York State for our second top story in the day with another from Kyle detailing remarks made on Wednesday by a top Republican state lawmaker who thinks that New York will be legalizing adult use marijuana next year. Assembly Minority Leader Will Barkley told a New York TV station that legalization would have likely happened this year but for the coronavirus. Barkley's remarks comes on top of a raft of other previously made supportive statements from other New York lawmakers, including Governor Andrew Cuomo. This one tracks as a top story today because of the size and scope of New York's potential adult use market, to say nothing of the pressure it would exert on neighboring states to likewise get hip to legalization. Our final top story in the day and the week pivots out of cannabis but stays within the realm of drug policy, as a proposal is being pushed right now in the nation of Colombia to have the federal government legalize cocaine. The proposal would have the Colombian government set and maintain a market rate for the price of coca leaves, as it would buy up the entire yearly harvest for use in legal cocaine. The pricing on this is pretty remarkable, as it would be less costly to buy up all the coca leaves grown in Colombia than the government spends right now trying to eradicate it. This is admittedly not a cannabis story, but still something that I think is good to keep an eye on. Even when we win the war on marijuana, there's still a lot of other drug use that needs to be stripped of criminality. Those are the top stories for today. It's time for Marijuana Today Daily Headlines Blitz. Before we blitz out in headlines, let's quickly thank our sponsor, All Kind of Portland, Maine, which provides medical patients and soon adult use customers with a wide selection of fine marijuana strains, handcrafted edibles, and all sorts of tinctures, rosins, dabs, honeys, and more. All Kind is open right now for scheduled delivery and reduced contact curbside pickup. So if you're up here in Maine too, make sure to check out all the products they have up for order. You can find all that over at allkind.buzz, where you can also shop All Kind's CBD selection online and order from anywhere in the United States. Again, all over at allkind.buzz. You can also browse All Kind's extensive menu on both Leafly and Weed Maps. When you think about living the lifted life, you should be thinking All Kind. Maine grown, Maine made, enjoyed by all kinds. That's All Kind of Portland, Maine. Big thanks for the support that helps us keep the news lights running. All right, time for the Blitz. News dropped yesterday that the National Basketball Association would not be randomly testing its players for signs of marijuana use, as it's done in years past. That's a big shift for the league, which started working on the new policy earlier this year. The source cited in the initial reporting also said that the league would still be testing players for cannabis if players give cause, which appears to apply to past offenders and those that don't keep their consumption quiet. ESPN ran the numbers and figured out there are just 6 states now with NBA teams that don't have some form of legal cannabis, so the math appears to be on our side for future further reforms. Thomas Mitchell over at Denver Westward has a good news sales story with a pickup of numbers from cannabis sales tracking firm Headset, which shows that last week's so-called Green Wednesday retail holiday was a big one, with average store sales on the day before Thanksgiving up 40% compared to any average day from the previous month. Interestingly, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, seems to be not so popular with the industry, with sales down an average of around 5%. Personally, I think that's great, as I think everyone should be home, not working on Black Friday. Let's just not have Black Friday be a thing in cannabis. Marijuana multi-state operator Colombia Care just closed on a $69 million acquisition of a marijuana grower, processor, and retailer in California, which is nice. For the mix of stock and cash, with most of it stock, Colombia Care is picking up the company Project Cannabis, a vertically integrated company located in Los Angeles with 4 dispensaries and 36,000 square feet of greenhouse cultivation space. Speaking of LA, the city of Los Angeles just released a list of 200 licensed finalists for social equity marijuana business permits. The 200 finalists all need to still get through a final approval process, which includes inspections of facilities and requirements that fees be paid, so we need to watch how the process rolls out. This is a long-running storyline here on The Daily, as LA has struggled over the last couple of years in setting up its marijuana licensing program. Pop on over to Marijuana Business Daily for more here. Returning to another longer-running storyline, we have another Marijuana Business Daily piece on Canadian marijuana provider CannTrust, which you might remember from last summer when the company lost its license to operate after it was revealed that employees had grown illicit off-the-books cannabis. CannTrust has been working ever since to regain its licensing and the trust of the marketplace, and Matt Lamers over at Marijuana Business Daily details the relaunch of the company's retail operations set for next month. A company spokesperson said that CannTrust would be focusing on adult use marijuana, with no plans as of yet to get back into medical operations. Bouncing up to my neck of the woods here in Maine, we have a check-in on the state's nascent adult use marijuana market, which officially kicked off sales back in October, just shy of 4 years after voters passed adult use via ballot measure. Right now in Maine, just 12 licenses for adult use stores have been issued, with 216 applications still in process. There's 8 approved applications for manufacturers and 66 still being considered, and 13 issued cultivators licenses, with 175 still in process. Our final story in the day needs a bit of a disclosure as it concerns one of our past sponsors, the California-based delivery company Eaze, which is accepting applications right now through December 15th for its Momentum Business Accelerator. Open to social equity program participants and those from underrepresented and over-impacted communities. Those chosen for Momentum's program will receive $50,000 in funding and a ton of extra value in coaching and mentoring and connections and all the other things accelerators try to aggregate for their entrepreneurs. I'm a big fan of accelerators in general, so this is a good one to know about. If you or someone you know could benefit, swing over to Leafly for the read and click through to Eaze's Momentum Business Accelerator. Those are the headlines and news for the day. I'll be back with you again on Tuesday with another information-packed episode of Marijuana Today Daily. But in the meantime, if you have any stories to share or feedback to give, zip us an email to headlines@mjtodaydaily.com. And while you're clicking around the interwebs, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com to find links to all the news we cover. Thanks to our sponsor, MJ Today Media, and to all of our awesome patron listeners for the support that makes this show possible. To join the illustrious ranks perks of the Patreon listeners yourself, swing over to our website at mjtodaydaily.com and click on that big blue button at the top of the page that says Become a Patron. I'm your host, Shay Gunther. Thanks for tuning in and starting your day with marijuana today.
One take, Shay. One take.